Zelensky is just coming up with this because he needs some arguments to talk to Washington.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says the chance now is significant for a political agreement to end the war with Russia. Zelensky is expected to meet with Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and other European leaders tomorrow. The White House press secretary says President Trump is sick of meetings just for the sake of meetings. So how real is the opportunity for peace, and is time running out? Let's speak to Tim Zadarohzhnyy, who is a reporter from the Kyiv Independent, speaking to us now from Warsaw. Good morning to you, Tim.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, well, thank you so much. Talk to us about this statement which President Zelensky put out last night. I was reading it on X last night. The chance is significant now. In reality, what does that mean?
So, indeed, we expect this week to be full of negotiations. Ukraine, European leaders, all of them are coming to Berlin. And last week, we've also seen a lot of talks taking place. What Ukraine expects to be discussed in Berlin, as Zelensky said last week, there are three documents that form the basis for this peace push. The first one is framework agreement, the second one are the security guarantees, and the third one is Ukraine's reconstruction. So we expect all three to be discussed in Berlin. The most controversial one, of course, is the framework agreement, because we still have these territorial issues, and that's something to be discussed there. Russia still wants Ukraine to withdraw from some of the unoccupied parts of the country, from Donbas region on the east of the country. That's Russian demand, and as we see, the US believes that if Ukraine withdraw from this region, from parts of this region, then there would be peace. For Ukraine, as I've said, it's a controversial one. This is the best positions for the Ukrainian military. It's a fortress belt, as they call it. But actually, President Zelensky, he showed kind of flexibility on this issue. Last week, he said that he wants to hold a kind of a referendum on this issue so the Ukrainian people would have a say. And I think he would also mention this during those Berlin talks, that we are ready to show some flexibility. We want our population to have a say on this. He's showing that he's flexible on this.
Well, on that flexibility, I'm just wondering how the Ukrainian people will respond to that. I mean, first of all, there's just the practical issues of trying to hold some kind of referendum during a war, and when so many people aren't even in Ukraine, so many Ukrainians are displaced either internally or externally. But also, is there a sense amongst the Ukrainian people that they're willing to compromise on territory to end the war?
Yeah, like, frankly speaking, a lot of people saw that idea of referendum as just no to Washington, because I believe, in Ukraine, I mean, it's an unpopular matter, the ceding of territory. So probably Ukrainians would say no on the referendum, and Zelensky is just coming up with this because he needs some arguments to talk to Washington. Because as we understand, these discussions right now, it's not just Zelensky saying no, we will not withdraw from Donbas region. Now he actually needs some arguments, so maybe it's one of them. And also, as you've mentioned, it's pretty hard to hold such a referendum during wartime, especially without external guarantees. But Zelensky said it is possible if the US or European allies, they would provide Ukraine with such guarantees. Maybe it would be a ceasefire, maybe they would monitor Russian missile attacks or drone attacks, but they want to have such guarantees for this referendum to take place. And actually, it's also about elections. Zelensky last week, he said he's ready to hold the election during the wartime, but only if the US and Europe would ensure security during those elections.
Yeah.
Really, between us, it's very difficult to comment the words of leader of Russia, because he really doesn't want to finish this war, because he didn't get all the goals what he wanted at the very beginning of this aggression. He wanted to destroy us totally, our freedom, our people, but he really been very surprised. Everybody understands who knows him and who doesn't, and that he didn't get any real goal what he wanted. Putin, I mean, now he's thinking how to find new reasons not to finish this war. And we count on pressure from the United States and the people of the world. I think so. They are a very strong country. And they said that we have to work on this plan, and they will pressure on both sides. Of course, we wanted them to be more on our side, but okay, mediator. So, and they began to pressure both sides, and we supported the ideas. It's a little bit optimism was in my words because of some speed of negotiations, and from American side, their interest in it. It showed that America is not withdrawing now from any kind of diplomatic way of dialogue, and it's good. And it's meant that they gave us a signal. So it's about negotiations. If you're ready, we will work. They've got these signals from us, but this is where we are. I mean, for me, it's nothing new. The words of Putin, not new, but we have to hope. We not just hope, we hope and work, hardly work each day. And we hope, of course, because we want peace. That's why it's optimism. I think this is realism. We need to bring peace closer. Yes, we tried our best, and it worked, and it works still. I'm very thankful to your country. You're one of these best our friends. Thank you.
You made a commitment to the Europeans back in July, if I remember it right, to participate in some kind of a peacekeeping force should there be a peace agreement. You mentioned, I think, air support, intelligence, and so forth. Does that commitment still stand? Is the U.S. ready to go contribute to
It's
this?
called the security agreement,
Yeah.
basically, that they
Yeah.
call it, the
Which
security
sounds like
agreement.
one
Yeah,
of
we would
the-
help. We would help with security because it's, I think, a necessary factor in getting it done. I thought that we were very close with Russia to having a deal. I thought we were very close with Ukraine to having a deal. In fact, other than President Zelensky, his people loved the concept of the deal. You know, we threw something out.
This is the four-part deal that you...
Well, there's 4 or 5 different parts. It's, you know, a little bit complicated because you're cutting up land in a certain way. It's not the easiest thing. It's sort of like a complex real estate deal times 1,000, right? But it's a deal that would have stopped the killing of thousands of lives every month. Thousands and thousands of lives, mostly soldiers, but as you know there's some bombs being dropped.
Is sort of a career-link ceasefire that we don't resolve?
Well, there's a meeting on Saturday. We'll see whether or not we attend the meeting. We said we'll attend the meeting if we think there's a good chance of they want me to attend. They want us to attend, and we'll be attending the meeting on Saturday in Europe if we think there's a good chance. And we don't want to waste a lot of time. We think it's negative. We want it to get settled. We want to save a lot of lives. As you know, in the past we spent could be $350 billion giving it to Ukraine. You know, we got nothing in return, but we gave it to Ukraine. I ended up getting rare earth in return, even though I didn't spend money. And we are now selling weapons to NATO. We're not selling it to Ukraine. We're selling weapons at full price to NATO, as you know. They distribute those weapons probably to Ukraine for the most part. They're probably doing it to others also. But we're not involved in the war other than the fact that we are involved in a negotiation because people want us there. Ukraine wants us involved very much. Europe wants us involved.